Hello, Percy.
你自己把自己写。
Can you see me and hear me?
好，
Hello.
Hello，
Hello, Percy.
好，什么 ？Hello，
Can you hear me?
Yes,
How are you?
fine.
What are you doing right now?
I'm just because I don't want to have the lesson. I want.
Are you okay? Are you okay, Percy?
Yes,
Are you sure?
yes,
Why don't you want to have the lesson?
because I want to learn about the boat.
You want to learn about a boat today?
Yes,
Well, maybe we could do a little bit of both. What do you think?
yes,
We don't have to study all the time, but we should do a little bit of study, right?
yes.
Okay, so what is our plan for today?
I still don't know.
All right. So turn my power on here. Okay, so you have a book about boats, is that right, Percy?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so first of all, if we want to read that book, I don't have that book yet.
But I need to read the name of that boat. But I don't know how to spell it.
Can you show me the name?
But it's too small. R-O-B-E-R-T.
Robert. R-O-B-E-R-T. Robert. Like that, right?
Yes.
This is a common English name. Robert. Can you say that one, Percy? Robert.
Let me
Is-
see. It
is-
keeps going like F-U-L-T-O.
F-U-L-T-O. Is that all? F-U-L-T-O?
The
Or does it keep going?
V
不是
是 N
N
N? F-U-L-T-O-N?
S.
S. Okay, so this sounds like a last name. Like that? Is it like that, Percy? Can you see that? F-U-L-T-O-N-S? Is that correct?
this one.
Yes.
Okay,
And
so this one we will say Fultons.
what?
Fultons.
Fulton.
Hmm.
C-L-E-R-M-O.
C
N-O-N-T.
C-L-E-R-M-O-N-T. Is that right?
Yes, and
Dash dash
我是 spy.
这个不用，
Okay.
然后跟老
Okay, so that one we will say Clement.
Mom. It's a boat.
Okay, this is a boat, is it?
Steam boat. A steam engine boat.
Okay, so the name of the boat is the Clement, right?
Yes.
Who is Robert Fultons?
The person that make that boat.
So what do we call... Hold on. What do we call somebody who makes new things, Percy?
Inventor.
Yes, very good. I-N-V-E-N-T-O-R. Inventor. So Robert Fulton was an inventor. He was an inventor and an engineer. And so what type of boat was the Clermont? Do you know?
Steamboat.
Sorry?
Steam.
That's right. It was a steamboat. And it was also a successful steamboat. It was a commercial steamboat. Do you know what that means? A commercial steamboat?
I don't.
Commercial means
跳过，这样可以吗？这样好吗？
commercial means for making money or for selling tickets, right? So people could buy tickets and travel on this steamboat. Before that, people didn't like to travel on steamboats very much because they weren't very good. So he was the first person to create a steamboat that people wanted to ride on. What else did you learn about Robert Fulton or the Clermont in that book, Percy?
But I watched a video, but it speaks too fast, so I can't understand.
You watched the video?
Yes, and there's only one part that's more slower, so it draw two magnets. So one is S and one is B.
North and north? One is south and one is north?
The B.
No. N.
N.
Mm-hmm.
One is S and one is N. So
Right.
you have a picture that thing is just not balanced. Not balanced. So it just keeps sucking out the water inside the sea. So the boiler will have water.
So this is where the steam engine gets its power from. It sucks in the seawater.
Yes.
And then it boils that water to make steam. So what type of energy is that?
This, yes.
是这个吗？
This
那是我
video.
寄给老师。
Okay, mommy is going to say that.
Okay.
Yes.
But remember we learned about types of energy. So what type of energy do we get from steam? Steam is very
Strong.
dry? No, steam is wet. Steam is water.
Strong.
Strong? Yeah, well, it can be strong. It's not as strong as electricity, which would be electric energy. We have electric energy. We have solar energy. We also have another type of energy that we learnt about, we studied about quite a lot. Do you remember?
Yes.
Starts with a T.
Hmm.
TH. What type of energy comes from heat? Remember that steam. Remember that steam is very hot, right?
It comes from heat. Comes from water.
Steam is very hot, so it will make what type of energy?
Evaporate.
It evaporates. Steam evaporates. That's the process. But what is the type of energy? Remember, we learnt about this. It's called thermal energy. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay, so using steam, these boats would create thermal energy. Boat, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty.
Does Titanic also burn water?
Yeah, didn't it? Actually, didn't the Titanic burn coal?
Yes.
I thought. Yeah. Let me just double check that. What fuel did the Titanic use? Because remember, one of the problems with the Titanic was its furnaces were so hot. Remember?
Yes.
So yeah, the Titanic was powered by coal. So they would burn the coal. Once again, this would create thermal energy, burning coal, right? It's very hot.
But
So
why does
it's thermal energy, but a different type of fuel to create the thermal energy. Steam engine uses water. The coal engine uses coal. Funny that. Okay, so Hannah, are you on? Okay. Wait.
iPad.
pad?
Right. Okay. So I can't screen share with you, but
为什么上次按的可以？
having a look at the video that you watched.
因为我电脑不能用。
So where did Robert Fulton come from?
Because mommy's computer can't use.
That's okay. We can get by. We can do the lesson. I'm just looking at the video that you watched now. Can you tell me, where did Robert Fulton come from?
New York.
New York City?
Yes.
That's right. He was American, correct.
Yes.
Okay, so what else did you learn in this video, Percy? Or in the book? Tell me more about
Because
Robert Fulton and the steamboat.
and because the last one I said it was too fast.
The last one, the speaker was speaking too fast, you mean?
Yes.
Let's have a listen together then.
As the captain maneuvered the boat easily without sail. The gathered crowd suddenly realized that what they had thought was a ship in distress was a new kind of craft, a steamboat. On board, the inventor of the steam-powered ship, the Clermont, was Robert Fulton, who later wrote,
"The power of propelling boats by steam is now fully proved. The morning I left New York, there were not perhaps 30 persons in the city who believed that the boat would ever move 1 mile an hour or be of the least utility."
在这里吗？
Okay.
老师可以了，
So when people first saw
你听就可以了。
Robert's steamboat, when they first saw the Clermont at port, what did they think?
It's very good.
They thought it, but before they thought it was very good, they were a bit confused. What did they think? Let's have a listen to that again.
你听就好。
Iowa Mississippi rivers was relatively easy. However, bringing finished goods inexpensively back to the interior had restricted. New Yorkers by the banks of the Hudson River looked.
Okay, so here we go. New Yorkers, for people from New York, by the banks of the river.
New Yorkers by the banks of the Hudson River looked with alarm at a boat belching black smoke as it churned upstream through the angry water.
Okay, so he said that the boat was belching. Belching is like, burping.
Yes.
Belching is the same to belch, to do a big burp, right? They said the boat was belching black smoke out the top of it. So people thought, what did they think?
None of the sailors seemed concerned with their ship. Instead, they stood steadily at their posts and watched without apprehension as the captain maneuvered the boat easily without sail.
Okay, so people had never seen a steamboat before. When they saw the smoke coming out of the boat, they thought the boat was on fire, right? They thought this boat had a problem. They were going, oh no, what's going to happen to the boat? But they looked at the sailors on the boat and they weren't worried. They were standing there like normal. So, and then people realized, this is a new type of boat.
The gathered crowd suddenly realized that what they had thought was a ship in distress was a new kind of craft, a steamboat.
Yes.
On board, the inventor of the steam-powered ship, the Clermont, was Robert Fulton, who later wrote,
"The power of propelling boats by steam is now fully proved. The morning I left..."
So Robert Fulton was on board the boat when it pulled into New York?
An hour or be of the least utility. Having employed much time, money, and zeal, it gives as it would you.
What's that, Percy?
Why did it sink?
Why did it sink?
Yes, at the first.
I don't know. I don't know about this boat, Percy. This is new information for me. Let's
Great
find out.
pleasure to see it answer my expectations. It will give a cheap and quick convenience to the merchandise on the Mississippi, Missouri, and other great rivers, which are now laying open their treasures to the enterprise of our countrymen.
Robert Fulton was the embodiment of the future American entrepreneur. He took a dead man's ideas, partnered with an investor to buy the dead man's rights, and turned what everyone else was calling a folly into one of the most meaningful inventions of all times. The investor was Robert Livingston, an influential and well-to-do New Yorker who had helped negotiate the purchase of the Louisiana Territory. At Fulton's urging, Livingston purchased the monopoly of steam power that John Fitch had held in a number of eastern states.
Okay, so this part talks about how after Robert Fulton made the first steamboat, he became very famous. He became very successful, and he started to make a lot of money by buying lots of businesses, buying lots of boats, buying and selling them, right? So he became a very successful and rich businessman. Yeah?
A vast fortune was created.
A vast fortune. So he made a vast fortune. This means he made a huge amount of money. What was your question, Percy?
But the boat that he buys is not the boat that he made.
Right, but he didn't make it. Yeah? He invented it. Different. Okay, let's finish this.
By 1825, as Fulton had predicted, the Ohio and Mississippi rivers teemed with over 170 steamships carrying goods and people up and down the waterways of America's heartland. The steam engine itself was adapted to a variety of industries, and eventually to the locomotive, which would outlast the steamship.
Okay, so after that, Robert predicted, he said, one day steamboats will be everywhere. That became true. And then they started to adapt the steamboat or the steam engine to other vehicles, like the locomotive. Now, that might be a new word for you. The locomotive, L-O-C-O-M-O-T-I-V-E, long word. Do you know what that means?
The thing that in the ocean.
This one's not on the ocean. This one is always on land.
A train.
Yes, very good, Percy. A locomotive is a big, long, fancy word for a train. Correct. Excellent. So steam engines started in boats, but then they moved to trains. One thing they could never power, though, was the car. Okay.
I have a question.
The first American to attempt the first.
What's your question?
But what is the longest train still use steam?
The longest trains still use steam? Which train are you talking about?
The road train.
But there are many long trains. I think the longest train is the train from Europe to China, I think. I'm not sure. The one that goes through Russia. Very, very long train ride. Okay, yeah. So today we have one steam engine, one steam locomotive or train still running, and it's in the United States. So only one steam train is left in the whole world. Pretty amazing, right? Only one. Can you believe that? It's in the United States. Where is it? Let's have a look. Well, I'll send you the article, and you can have a look if you later
Okay.
if you want with your mummy.
I'm saying
You can see some pictures and some other stuff. I'll send
I
it.
still can see it.
Okay, I'll send it through the chat box to
I
your
can
mummy
see
there.
it.
So
I
there
can see it.
you can see some pictures. Looks like it's in a very cold place.
我已经看到了，在这里。
怎么那么好？为什么可以看到？哦，哇！
It looks like very cool. I
Yeah,
want to go into that steam train.
it would be fun to ride it, wouldn't it?
你跟老师约一下。
Next time maybe we can all go.
Yeah, next time you go to America, you might be able to visit the last steam train. It looks very old, though. Don't you think it looks very old?
Yes.
你上次在宜兰看到了吗？
It's the same as 宜兰英文怎么讲？
宜兰啊，
It's the same as the one that we go to Yilan. The
Uh-huh.
same.
Right.
这很长啊，
It's okay. So,
还可以到这么长，没想到这么高。Wow, it's so powerful.
what's so powerful, Percy?
That train. It's still that long.
Yeah, well, it's very long. Of course, every train has to be powerful, to pull all of those carriages behind it. Okay, so just look.
How many coals does that train need?
Okay, what about a steamboat? So steamboats we don't use them anymore because they're a little bit slow. Would you ever ride on a steamboat, Percy? What do you think?
No,
Why not?
I want.
You
I
you
really
do
want.
want or you don't want?
I want. I really want.
Okay, so in
But
in some
it's
places we still use steamboats, I think, but not many.
But I just need it there 100% sure it can't sink.
Yeah. So steamboats, the thing is, steamboats are not as powerful as boats that use coal as fuel or boats that use gasoline as fuel. So the really big boats that have to, transport tons and tons and tons of stuff to different countries and go across the oceans, transporting a lot of goods. The steamboat is not powerful enough. So that's why they started using coal. Okay, Percy, so is there anything else? Mm-hmm.
Both is at the same time at Titanic
It was at the same time?
of Titanic.
Right, it was at the same time, but
Almost.
it was a little bit before the Titanic, wasn't it? So
Yes. 1 year.
she was
100 years.
100. I was gonna say I thought it was 100 years, not 1 year. So yeah, there's a whole century in between them. The Titanic, the Titanic was 1912, was it? Or was it 1918? 1911. 1911.
1911.
So the Clermont was invented in what year? Do you know?
1809.
1809. Let's have a look. Right. It was 1809. Oh no, wait. The first voyage, was in 1807. And 1809 was when he made the second one. Yeah, he made the second steamboat in 1809.
How long does the steamboat exist? A lot.
How long did the steamboat exist for?
Yes.
Well,
How long does the steamboat still not be turning fewer and fewer?
what do you mean, turning fewer and fewer?
More didn't use and more didn't use.
Okay, so let's have a look at a quick history.
And that time does it start fewer and fewer steamboats?
Okay, so the first idea, not the first steamboat, but the first idea for the steamboat was all the way back in 1729. So that's about 300 years ago. Now, when was the first steamboat invented? The first steamboat ever actually made was in 1783. So now this happened in France, right? Now, steamboats were good for people to transport goods, transport cargo, but people didn't like riding on them. So it wasn't until Robert Fulton in 1807 made the Clermont that steamboats became popular for people to travel on. Do you see?
Yes, I know this. 而且从这老师第二影片里。
So yeah, we have three big dates. There's 1729, 1783, and 1807.
The question that I asked just now.
What question was that? Can you repeat it for me?
How to say that question? Ask that question.
Oh, right. The one about steamboats becoming fewer and fewer. So, sorry, I forgot about that, Percy. You mean, so when did steamboats start? When did people start using them less and less? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
let me keep doing some research here. Steamboats.
Too many steamboats.
Okay, so when did the steamboat era end? So the steamboat era didn't finish until the 20th century. So the 20th century is the 1900s. So the early 1900s, 1901, 1902, 1903, this is when the steamboat era ended. And we started using more coal for fuel and other types of fuel.
Titanic.
Like the Titanic, yeah. At that time, trains started using coal because, once again, trains could also go faster and produce more thermal energy than steam with coal. So coal burns much hotter than water, right?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
yeah, so it makes more thermal energy and can power the vehicles faster, right?
Yes.
So this is why that was about 120 years ago that we started using steamboats less and less. So how would you ask that question correctly? Let's have a look.
Steamboat.
这个听着好像这样子我很难的。
Of course, there are a few different ways that you can ask this question correctly, but I think the easiest way is just to say, when did people stop using steamboats? Can you say that? Can you ask it like that?
When does people stop using steamboat?
Say, when did steamboats stop being popular?
When the steamboat
Stop.
stop being popular? Can I
Yeah.
say when the steamboat dies?
No, because steamboats are not animals or plants. They're not bacteria. They're not alive. And we still have some steamboats today. In some places, they still use small steamboats, very old ones. So no, you can't say when did steamboats die. But we do talk about the steamboat era. Do you know what the word era means? E-R-A?
Era 老师问你 era
Era? 这个
What? 这个
E-R-A, era.
Era? I don't know. What
So
era?
era means
era
era means a period of history, right? So a time period of history. So the steamboat era was the time in history when steamboats were very, very popular. So
Which century that steamboat will the extinct?
extinct? Well, once again, steamboats won't become extinct because they're not alive, but we would, instead of extinct, we would say disused. Disused. Do you know, can you guess what disused means?
No use.
Yeah, we don't use it anymore. Well, that will be in the future because some people still use small steamboats. So I don't know because I can't see the future, Percy. But the era is over. The time of them being popular, the time of many people using them is over. Now there are only a few people in some small towns who use steamboats. Don't forget, Percy, when you ask questions about the past, always say, when did, not when do. When did the steamboats stop being used, right? Okay, any other questions about that, Percy? Or would you like to practice some reading?
Yes, practice.
Okay, let's practice some reading.
Okay.
Will we go from the same book as last time?
Huh?
对啊，老师给你那个可以吗
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So, we were on page 11.
Wait a second. Where is that?
Tell me when you're ready.
You have 13 alarms.
Ah!
They're turned off right now.
What's happening? I just stick it in my hand and haste you just jump out. Funny.
What do you do? While we wait, Percy, tell me what you're going to do this evening.
你跟我说你生病啊，所以麻烦你。
What are you going to do this evening, Percy?
Because I have fever.
Are you going to do? Are you going to?
Going to be used for the future.
I'm not going to school because.
Yeah. Go on. Because
I'm sick now. Because I'm a bit sick, so.
oh, okay. So you didn't go to school at all today?
Yes, because I'm a bit sick.
What's wrong? What is your sickness?
I'm just
Fever.
fever.
A fever?
I have a fever too.
You too?
You had.
I had.
Well, I'm finally starting to feel better from my sickness. I think there's a bad cold going around the world, I think. My parents are sick. Many of my students are sick in many different countries. My wife was sick. I was sick. Many people have been sick recently.
Yes, I know. Because our teacher also told us.
This happens in today's world. Do you know why?
My teacher already.
Why? How do people get sick? Why is it that people in America are getting sick, and people in Taiwan are getting sick, and people in Cambodia are getting sick? All these countries are so far away. Do you know why?
My teacher already told me, but I didn't remember.
It's because of airplanes. Right?
Yes.
When someone who's sick gets onto an airplane, the airplane, there's only a limited amount of air in the airplane cabin. So all the other people in the airplane get sick too, right? Because that person is coughing. The germs are spreading through the airplane. And then, so that person flies from Taiwan to America or wherever, and people in that country everyone on the plane gets sick, and then the cold is in the other country. And because so many people fly planes today, sickness spreads very quickly. Okay, Percy, so can you see the book yet, Texas Journeys?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
still
still trying to open.
That's okay.
Mommy's just trying to open it.
That's okay. We can keep having a conversation.
Okay, yay.
So you're feeling sick. I hope in that case you're going to get some rest tonight. Yeah.
Yes, but
Drink
I'm feeling better.
Drink enough water, right?
I'm feeling better.
You're feeling better now?
Yes.
上课就好啦。
That's good. Now, last time we talked was on Friday, I think. Yeah, last time we talked was last Friday. So what did you do on Saturday and Sunday? What did you do on the weekend, Percy?
Sorry, Nat. What's happening? Nat?
Oh, sorry. He disappeared, and so did I. Okay, so tell me about your weekend. I didn't talk to you since Friday.
don't really remember.
You don't remember again?
What? Which is that?
Waiting party, yeah.
Mama,
Yesterday.
today we went to
When?
wedding party.
A wedding party?
Yes.
Oh. I like wedding parties. Did you have fun?
Yes. And we
Whose
had a
wedding
lot
was
of
it?
Popcorn.
You had a lot of...
Popcorn.
Oh, yummy. What type of popcorn? Was it sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Sweet popcorn. Who's
Very, very sweet.
very, very sweet? Ooh, be careful you don't eat too much.
Yes, it's not the normal, that kind of sweet. It's super sweet.
What color was it?
Yellow. Very, very brown.
Very, very yellow. So,
A bit very brown. A bit brown and a bit yellow.
a bit brown and a bit yellow. Was it like caramel popcorn? Do you know caramel?
Oh, yeah.
What kind?
Monos.
What kind of popcorn is caramel?
Caramel is like a sweet kind of sauce. It's very sugary. It's brownie colored.
Very.
Very, very sweet. And sometimes they like to put this on top of popcorn.
Maybe. But
Um,
inside of the popcorn also it's that color.
yeah, because caramel, when it's hot, it might be caramel popcorn. It looks yummy anyway.
Yes, it's
You still have some.
yes, we still have a lot.
Lucky you. Okay, did I see your mummy give you the book there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on page 11. Remember that we learnt 6 sight words or high frequency words. These are words that we use all the time in English, right? Remember what they are? They are play, be, and, help,
Play.
with,
And with
and you.
you.
You remember that, right, Percy?
Well, I want the chess one.
The chess one? Okay, but we will get to that first. We need to do number 4 and 5 because we finished on number 3 last time. 3 and the children share the paper and paint. So remember to look at your sight words here, which are the words in yellow.
Also the one that the washing the dog with.
Right, we're going to look at that. Washing the dog, being in a show, and playing chess. So don't forget to look.
The left we already have help.
Oh, we did finish help. Are you sure? Oh, we did finish help. Right, these pals help each other wash the dog. Don't forget to look at the words in yellow. These are our focus words, our very important, very common words. Number 5 is W-I-T-H. How do you say that word, Percy?
Hey.
W-I-T-H.
Which?
With, not close, almost, not which. Which is W-H-I-C-H. This is W-I-T-H. With.
Which is the which?
Which one?
The broom, that which.
Oh, well, that's also a witch, but that's a different type of witch. Yeah. That's a W-I-T-C-H. Different spelling. So, with. Now, can you read the sentence to me, Percy? Take your time. You don't need to go fast. Look at the words and do your best. If you need help, don't worry. I'm here to help you.
T.
The.
T-H-E-T.
T-H-E. How do we read that word? T-H-E is the.
The.
B-O-Y.
The. B-O-Y.
How do we read that word? B-O-Y.
The
Boy.
boy.
Yeah, the boy. Okay. What's next?
Wings.
Was. Close. Was. Mm-hmm. The boy was. I-N.
In.
Mm-hmm.
A.
Mm-hmm. S-H-O-W. This one we say show.
Joe.
Mm-hmm. And our sight word here in yellow, how do we say that one?
Help.
No. This one's not help. This is number 5, remember?
Word.
W-I-T-H. We said it just before, not were. Not which, but with. With, that's right. Together with, right? So the boy was in a show with.
Has.
Close. His. And this one we learnt last time. P-A-L-S. Pals. Good. So let's read that one more time.
What does that mean?
Pal.
But are you sure they're all boys?
No, they're not all boys. There's one boy and 3 girls. But he is the boy, right? The sentence is about him. His pals are not boys. His pals are girls, right? So, let's read this sentence one more time. The boy, only one. The boy was in a show with his pals. Good. Now, when we read it again, make sure you follow the words with your eyes.
So what is 5? What the 4? That one. Now, the boy is also pale.
Yeah. That's what this lesson is about. And also in number 1 on page 10, the pals were playing in the park. The pals were playing on the jungle gym, remember?
But I'm saying the 4. What is the 4th? What is the pal is washing the dog? But what is boy also? We can also say pal.
Because boys can be friends with girls. You don't have to have only boys as your friends, right?
Oh, so pal is just means friend.
Yeah, pal does not mean boy or girl. It just means friend. That's absolutely correct.
Oh.
Okay, last one here. Now, I think you remember how to say this word. It's easy to remember. Y-O-U. How do we say that word?
6.
6. Oh, yeah, it's number 6. But how do we say Y-O-U? If we write this word Y-O-U, how do we say that? Y-O-U.
What?
You. Y-O-U, me and?
You.
You, that's right. Remember you asked me the question, why don't we just spell it with you? And I told you, well, that's English spelling. That's why it's difficult. So, Y-O-U, you.
You.
Now, try to read this sentence.
The verse is today has also you.
The what today?
The verses for today has also you.
The verses?
你要说早上我们在读那个圣经的经
I
节
don't know what you mean by that, Percy.
Because the morning we have reading the verse, the Bible verse.
The Bible verses, right?
So it's the you in the verse.
Yeah, of
You.
course. Right. The Bible is a guide to help you, right? So it's about you.
Yes. So I ask Mommy another question.
What's that?
Why does love we just need why does we don't need E?
Why do we not need
Why does we need
eat meat?
E? Why does we need E for
At the end of the word, is that?
Okay.
word?
Okay, I know what you mean. Let's see how we can ask this question properly first, okay? So first of all, not why does, but why do, okay?
Why do
we need to put
the word
E.
in the
At.
the
So,
desk?
yeah, let's say it like this. Why do we need to put E at the end of some words?
Why do we need
We.
to put E at the last
end.
of some word?
At the end of some words.
The end of some word.
Okay, that's a good question. Once again, very good question. And the answer is the same as with why do we not spell you with just the letter U? No reason whatsoever. Well, the reason is history, because over time the English language changed. We borrowed words from France, or French, let's say. We borrowed words from the German language. We borrowed words from the Spanish language and many other European languages. And the spelling changed, the words changed. Well, because,
I think it's so strange.
because over time, everything changes. This is history, right? Look at the story we just read. 200 years ago, everybody was riding steamboats. Today, things have changed. People haven't been riding steamboats for 120 years. The same reason. So English changes because of history. And the spellings change, but they don't always make sense. Right?
But will paper change?
I think paper is already changing. Have a look. Many people today, they are reading their books and reading their newspapers on their computers and their phones and their iPads instead of on paper like they used to. We still read paper books, but we also read a lot of digital books. So I think paper is changing right now. What do you think?
Maybe, but why does Titanic is not changing?
Well, the Titanic did change. It sank. It went to the bottom of the sea. it broke in half. That's a pretty big change.
But Titanic stops in the water, but when it stops in the water, there's no change.
When? At what point?
Because just Titanic sank.
Yeah. Okay, so think about the Titanic now, 100 years later. Where is the Titanic?
In the sea.
It's in the same place in the sea as it was when it sank. Is it changing?
No.
Yes, it is.
Of course.
Do you know what's happening to it?
Breaking.
Yeah, it's becoming rusty, right?
Yes.
You know what happens when you put metal into water for a long time?
Rusty.
Yeah. It gets rusty. It becomes rusty.
Except Rusty, I know what. It's being picked up.
What's been picked up? What do you mean?
Titanic, more and more parts being picking up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. People are picking up parts so we can research this and so we can keep some of this history, right? But of course, it's very deep. And the ship was so big, we can't take the whole ship up from the bottom of the ocean. 100 years under the sea, you're going to have a lot of rust, aren't you?
Yes, except we can suck up all the water in the sea.
Did I tell you when I went to Australia a couple of years ago that I saw a shipwreck on the beach? Do you know shipwreck? Like the Titanic.
Wreck?
Yeah, a crashed ship.
Well,
Yeah. Do you want me to send you some photos?
yes.
It was very, very, very rusty, and it was half in the sand. So this was not under the sea like the Titanic. This shipwreck had washed up onto the beach. I will send you some photos after the lesson, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we finished that page. No, we didn't finish that page. We only have 4 minutes left, Percy. So I want you to read this sentence, number 6 for me. Our keyword is Y-O-U-U.
You?
We start with I.
I want
Not want, L-I-K-E. Not
you.
want, but starts with an L, so we'll start with a L sound. Lie. L-I, lie. K,
key.
like.
Like.
Once again, this is a silent E. I like.
I like.
Okay, can you continue?
With.
With, almost, but with is W-I-T-H. This one is W-H-E-N. When, good. Yes.
When.
Our keyword, Y-O-U. Good.
You.
This is another keyword, P-L-A-Y.
Have.
No, not pal.
A.
Play, very good.
With.
Not with, with is later. T-H-I-S, we say.
When.
Not quite this. We say that one, this.
This.
T-H-I-S, this. Next we have G-A-M-E.
Jeep. Glam.
G. Starts with a G, G sound, G. A sound. And silent E again. G-A-M-E.
Glam.
Game.
Game.
Yeah, game, right? Play a game. And next one, keyword, W-I-T-H, is?
When.
No. From number 5, remember? Together.
With.
Yes, excellent. And last word, M-E.
E.
Me. Okay. One more time, I want you to read this.
She wants to play with she.
Because they are pals. Don't you want to play with your friends? Okay, Percy. Maybe she likes chess. So we have less than a minute. So very quickly, let's read that sentence one more time.
I like to
When you
play friends
this
game with I.
M-E. Me, good. I like when you play this game with me. Okay, excellent reading today, Percy. You are improving already, and we will continue to practice that. We only have 10 seconds, so I hope you have a great evening, and your fever goes away.